This is by John Cougar Mellencamp. Let's talk records. John Mellencamp was born in the small rural town of Seymour, Indiana. He began playing music at an early age, starting his first band at age 14. While in college, he decided he wanted to pursue a musical career. He traveled back and forth from Indiana to New York to try to make it in the music business on his own terms. In the mid-1970s, Mellencamp signed with celebrated manager Tony DeFries and his management company Main Man. DeFries had helped David Bowie, Iggy Pop, Lou Reed, and Luther Vandross achieve fame. DeFries, however, insisted that Mellencamp drop his last name and be billed on his debut album Chestnut Street Incident as John Cougar. Mellencamp didn't quite like this idea, but DeFries told him that they couldn't release the album otherwise, so he reluctantly agreed. DeFries thought that Mellencamp's German last name would not sell. The album flopped. Mellencamp had already recorded his next record, but DeFries decided to not release it, and he was dropped from MCA. Billy Gaff, who had been Rod Stewart's manager, took on Mellencamp and signed him to his small UK record label River Records. His first album on the label, a biography under the stage name Johnny Cougar, was released in 1978. Not released in the US and only in the UK and Australia. The single on the album, I Need a Lover, became a hit in Australia. Because of the success the song had down under, it was included on his follow-up album, simply titled John Cougar, which this time was released in the US. I Need a Lover was his first top 40 hit in the United States, reaching number 28. The album reached number 64. Nothing Matters and What If It Did in 1980 was his next album, and it reached number 37 on the albums chart. 1982, American Fool was released, still billed as John Cougar. The album was Mellencamp's breakthrough success, reaching number 1 on the albums chart and staying there for 9 straight weeks. It spawned 2 top 10 hit singles, with Hurt So Good reaching number 2 and Jack and Diane at number 1. To capitalize on the success of American Fool, Main Man finally released The Kid Inside, the album that he had recorded back in 1977. Prior to the success of the album, River Records was actually considering dropping Mellencamp because they felt that his music wasn't going anywhere. Now that he proved his label wrong, Mellencamp demanded to finally be able to use his real last name. With this newfound success, he wanted to have more control of his music without label interference like on his previous 6 albums. Mellencamp had a friend that had a farmhouse in Brownstown, Indiana that was in the process of being built. He approached his friend to ask him to let him and his band record his next album with the promise to get the house all built after they're done. Crumbling Down was the first single released ahead of the album on October 15, 1983. Mellencamp wrote the song with his old high school friend and frequent songwriting collaborator George Green. The music video received heavy airplay on MTV, the new groundbreaking music channel that had helped Mellencamp become a star. It was directed by Chris Gabrin, who had directed music videos for Madness, Elvis Costello and the Attractions, Wham!, The Cure, and others. By John Cougar Mellencamp was released October 25th, 1983 on River Records. It was produced by Mellencamp and Don Gimmon, who had previously co-produced American Fool with Mellencamp. The album reached number 9 on the Hot 200. The next single was Pink Houses, released October 23rd, 1983. Mellencamp went on to say that while he was driving from the airport to his home in Bloomington, Indiana, he saw on Interstate 65 a black man sitting in a lawn chair outside of his small home holding a cat. There's a black man with black hair and looking at the highway. Despite the house being so small, he noticed how happy the man was. Director Chris Gabrin came back to direct the music video, which also got heavy rotation on MTV. Strangely enough, MTV ran a contest where a viewer can win a brand new pink house.
The MTV Party House. You own it. Back in the middle of the heartland. Bloomington, Indiana, hometown of John Cougar Mellencamp. And oh yeah, you have to paint it pink.
It was later found out that the house was located in front of a waste dump. MTV rectified the situation, purchased a new house for the winner, and painted it pink. Although the song appears to be patriotic and painting America in a positive light, Mellencamp went on to say that it is quite the opposite. He said that the song is about the broken American dream and how it has let down the American people during the Reagan era. The song reached number 8 on the US chart. The third and final song was Authority Song, released March 17, 1984. Mellencamp went on to say that the song was inspired by I Fought the Law, popularized by Bobby Fuller Band. The music video was directed by Jay Dubin, who had directed music videos for REO Speedwagon, Billy Joel, and others. Authority Song reached number 15 on the Hot 100. The song Jackie O on the album was co-written with the legendary John Prine. On this album, John Mellencamp was able to reclaim his last name, thus reclaiming his identity and gaining the freedom to make his own brand of heartland rock on his own terms. By John Cougar Mellencamp has been certified 3 times platinum.